Welcome to NFL Primetime, presented by E-Trade.
Welcome, everybody, to NFL Primetime. We don't want to wait long on Championship Sunday. The football's just ended, and we're just starting. Chris Berman along with Tom Jackson, and certainly had history. We certainly had much anticipated action. We certainly had teams that had to play defense. We certainly had 4 cold weather cities. We certainly were expecting some big-time football.
Yeah, big-time football, some unusual situations. Yes. We always get that on Championship Sunday, and, you know, we got it today.
Well, and we have decorated teams and a team that wishes it could be a little more decorated, planning on it all year long. How would it all turn out? Well, I'll tell you what, Tom, let's talk before we go to highlights. If you're just tuning over, if you're just joining, the Pittsburgh, actually both games, the second game different than the first in score, but in both games, one team ran out to a huge lead, and then kind of the other, not hung around. In one case, the Jets made a huge comeback, but Pittsburgh has just beaten the Jets 24-19 to move on to a Super Bowl, a chance for them to win 3 in 6 years, a chance to win, well, what's the 7th finger? I don't know, with the one for the what?
A lot.
A lot. and the other game, it was Green Bay up, almost putting it out of reach, but not quite, and yet the others came back.
Well, 14-0, and then the Chicago Bears found their footing and hung in there, and almost had a chance to win that game.
But that's the second game. The first game was the Pittsburgh Steelers figuring, hey, you're at home, you can't run on us. We play defense. There was mutual respect back and forth all week long with the talking Jets and the quieter Steelers. Here we go for the AFC Championship. At Heinz Field, the big ketchup bottle, frozen ketchup for Big Ben and young Mark Sanchez, trying to win his 5th road playoff game. Ben, no one open. This is what he does. But anyway, and very quickly in the second quarter, the Steelers have run right down the field on a 9-minute drive to lead. Now it's 17-0. Ike Taylor strips Mark Sanchez of the ball. William Gay, he scores a touchdown. It's a rout. Jets get a field goal at the end of the half, but it's 24-3 Pittsburgh. Mark Sanchez, Jets came out as a different team, Tommy. In the second half, Santonio Holmes, the one-time Steeler, touchdown, 24-10. Now after the Steelers have stopped the Jets at 4th and goal to 1, bad exchange, safety. Ben Roethlisberger never got his hands on the ball, but he falls on it. The Jets fall on him. It's a safety. Jets get the ball next possession, and Sanchez to Jericho Country. Wait a minute, we have a game. But at this point, Pittsburgh said, you know what? We need to control the ball. If they don't get it, they won't win it. So Big Ben, and he does this so well, buying, throwing. And Heath Miller, notably absent, and the first time these teams played 5 weeks ago was a big factor.
Yeah, great mobility by Ben is what really created the play.
And then some names we've gotten to know made a huge catch, obviously, last week against the Ravens. This is rookie Antonio Brown after Ben buys, and somehow finds, and he makes the play and actually gets up some extra yards. And that was it. Steelers ran out the clock. The Steelers are running on to Dallas. They beat the Jets by the count of 24-19. And you look at numbers, and they don't really tell you a lot when you look at Ben Roethlisberger's numbers. There's 2 picks. He fumbled. He caused a safety. 10 of 19. But Mendenhall running the way he did in the first half, as opposed to the Jets having 1 yard as a team rushing. I mean, there you go. That's as big a reason why they went to 24-0 lead before the Jets kicked the field goal. As we showed you on the Swamp, Ben Roethlisberger continues to climb in the postseason. You say what you want, that this is not the prototypical, but guess what? He's the one of the Manning and the Brady that the Jets couldn't beat, Tom.
Absolutely. And
next to only Bart Starr, who lost his first playoff game and won the next 9 for the Packers. When you've played at least 10 postseason games, Big Ben is second. Better than Plunkett, better than Brady, and who is at 14-5. We can go right on down the list. Terry Bradshaw's at 14-5. Joe Montana at 16-7. Ben Roethlisberger 10-2. He does things to make you win, even if it isn't lighting it up with necessarily 400 yards passing or what have you.
Well, 10 of 19 for 133 yards sounds like a pretty pedestrian game by a quarterback. But what Ben Roethlisberger does is create by extending plays, getting outside the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield, and I think he's married that with his wide receivers and their ability to scramble around, know where to put themselves in order for him to make a play going down the field. And we saw great examples of that at the end of the football game. The other thing that they did is that they ran the ball great in the first half of this football game, and as you said, the Jets, if I told you the Jets were going to have 1 yard rushing at the end of the first half, you might have predicted that they would be down 24-3.
Well, Mendenhall ran for 99 again. The Steelers were quick to point it out. He ran for 99 in that game 5 weeks ago that the Jets won. And in this game, Tommy ran for $121. The Steelers, all told, ran for 166. And so, you know, that was only part of the story. We're going to take a brief timeout. We've got a lot to talk about here in the 2 championship games, including we'll get some reaction from Pittsburgh very shortly. Only doling out the new look Lamar Hunt trophy. I don't know if I like the new look.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. But the Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears playing for the new look George Halas trophy. We'll be back.
I'm in a timeout because apparently riding the dog like it's a small horse is frowned upon in this establishment. Luckily, though, I can conceal this bad boy underneath my blanket just so I can get on E-Trade, check my investment portfolio, research stocks, and set conditional orders. Wait, why are you taking... Oh, I see. Hey, Max, would it kill you to throw a guy a warning bark? You know, I wanted a bird.
E-Trade. Investing unleashed.
It's game time, and you've only got $5. Taco Bell's Touchdown $5 Box. Get a beefy crunch burrito, crunch wrap supreme, crunchy taco, cinnamon twists, and a nice cold medium soda. The Touchdown $5 Box, only at Taco Bell.
Oh my God! What's this?
A circle? I wear a wedding ring to pick up chicks.
Have you completely lost your mind?
I never pegged you as a kids guy.
I'm a huge kids guy. How would you like to be my pretend children?
Can I do an accent?
Let me hear some.
Hello.
No.
I love you guys. Good night. Listen it.
Just go with it. Rated PG-13. A fully boxed steel frame. A proven Duramax diesel engine. And the same make of transmission found in an M1 tank. Introducing the 2011 Sierra HD, the strongest, smartest, most powerful Sierra, including the first Denali. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job.
Taco Bell's new 99-cent Beefy Crunch Burrito. Lots of beefy, add some cheesy, and pile on the crunchy with Flamin' Hot Fritos chips. That's right, it's a deal worth crunching about.
Super Tuesday. Doubleheader action begins at 7 on ESPN.
NFL Primetime is presented by E-Trade. Investing Unleashed. And in part by Bing. Stop searching. Start deciding with Bing, the decision engine from Microsoft. And GMC. Vote for the GMC Never Say Never Moment of the Year at NFL.com/GMC.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime. The Steelers have just won another AFC championship. They're heading back to the Super Bowl. They've beaten the Jets 24-19. The Pittsburgh Steelers now have a chance to win 3 in 6 years. And remember, we all still marvel at the team that won 4 in 6 years. Tommy, you played in that era. We know they have a chance to win 3 in 6 years, which, I mean, there you go. And so one thing that stands out about the Pittsburgh Steelers is the way, and it always has, is that, look, they had one of the best numbers. They led Pro Football in fewest points allowed. And actually, the Jets getting...
It's a great number.
Yes.
It's a great
They also had the 3rd best number since merger, so that's 40 years, of yards allowed per game on the ground, under 63 yards a game. The fact that the Jets got 69 in the second half is pretty good. Of course, they had 1 in the first. So that's just the backdrop of what Pittsburgh... When you add 0 degree with the wind chill, I know the Jets are a physical team and decided to do something about it in the second half. But in the first half, it was, whoa. We haven't faced this fury as good as the Colts and the Patriots were the last 2 weeks. This is a different sort of fury. You think that was a big part of the game, Tom?
I think absolutely. And I think that when you look at and that's a good term for it, the ferocity with which the Steelers play defense, I think it was almost shocking to the Jets, who were coming off, and let's admit it, a very emotional, hard-fought game against the New England Patriots. And quite frankly, at the beginning of the game, they looked a little bit drained, like the tank was empty. I think they managed to get a second win. in, come out in the second half, and play really well. But when you think about the Pittsburgh Steelers, they only gave up 1,004 yards the entire season rushing. So when you talk to them, they are about stopping the run, making you one-dimensional, and then rushing the quarterback. And I think they really threw that passing game off during the first half of the game because they were so good at stopping the run. I mean, and then, you know, in contrast, they ran the ball great in the first half against the Jets.
We're going to have sound from Steelers and Jets. Of course, there's a ceremony going on that's coming up right now. And, of course, we're not forgetting about the Packers and the Bears for the 182nd time either. But let's just talk Jets for a moment. And, again, it's not, okay, let's paint a night. Whatever was said at halftime, if there was much that needed to be said, they got a field goal from Folk. Barely squeezed it in at the end of the half. And, all right, you're still down 21. You're in Pittsburgh. It's just not going to... It's as if that proud, and I start with their offensive line, Tom. Look, we respect what Pittsburgh is. We're going to go out with guns blaring, if you will. And they did that. I mean, if they had had a little more time, maybe they had a chance to win the game, which they did. They got the ball one more time. So kudos to them, and it kind of speaks to the kind of attitude that they've had, and you get a little closer to what they've been experiencing behind the scenes with your piece this morning with Dennis Byrd, the honorary captain today, and who spoke last week.
Well, I thought that they would play inspired football. You didn't know if they would win, but they certainly did that in the second half of the game. I thought that Nick Mango, the Brickashaw Ferguson, and that offensive line really started to set the tone for the New York Jets, not only running the football, but in protection of Mark Sanchez. And Boom used a term with me, if they could have bailed just a little bit of water in the first half and maybe been down by 10, down by 14, maybe you give yourself a realistic chance to come back and win the game. Down 21 at the half was just too much against this kind of defense, which is actually a great defense. When they're playing well, they are a great defense. So the Jets will walk away at the same moment in time that they did last year in the playoffs, but I think with that same kind of confidence when they come back next year, they will believe that we've got the ability to take that next step and get to the Super Bowl. I wouldn't be surprised at all to hear that be one of the first things they talk about when they talk about expectations.
The first thing they're going to talk about next year is we win the division, we can stop this road stuff.
That's right.
Because I know Green Bay did it. I know Green Bay did it. And we know that the Steelers did it in 05. We know the Giants did it in 07. And actually, the 85 Patriots won 3 road games before they got to the Super Bowl 25 years ago and lost big time to the Bears. But it's not the way to go. So their first part will be, you know what, we'd like to meet Obama. We're going to ride on the bus. We're going to get to the Super Bowl. But we'd like to win the division first because that will help.
It would be nice to play a home playoff game or two and see what it feels like.
But the Pittsburgh Steelers are the ones who once upon a time, championship games in Pittsburgh, at least recently, I'm not talking about Mean Joe and those guys, it wasn't really good news. They had a bunch of nail-biters or losses. But 2 years ago against the Ravens, they won it and went on to the Super Bowl and, of course, won that in exciting fashion. And this year they have a chance to go on to the Super Bowl and perhaps win another one. Now, I could say either Sal with Troy, that would be easy, but I'm going to try this one. Palomalu with Palantonio. It just rolls off the tongue right after the game.
Well, that was some unbelievable defensive performance by you guys for 4 quarters. How did you do it, Troy?
I would honestly say it's a pretty good defense performance by both teams. I know they got off to a rough start, but they did really well in the second half. In fact, they outplayed us in the second half. So,
what was the key to this team staying? What was the key to this team staying together through all the adversity you had this season? You personally and Ben Roethlisberger.
Quite honestly, man, a lot of teams talk about being a family. I think we're the epitome of that. You know, a lot of teams may be more talented than us, but guys stepped up with injuries, and we just relied and trusted in one another.
What do you think was the key play in the first half defensively for you guys that stopped?
I'll tell you what, the way things are going at the end of the game, I think the key play was converting that 3rd down.
See, it's Super Bowl.
God willing, thank you.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, always outstanding defense at home at Heinz Field with temperatures single digits, maybe with wind chill a little bit below, against the New York Jets, a team on a mission, a team that 2 weeks ago had beaten Peyton Manning and the Colts in Indy, a team that last week had beaten Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the Patriots in Foxborough. Were they really going to come into Pittsburgh and beat Ben Roethlisberger, here the 9-2 postseason mark, and the Pittsburgh Steelers? That would be quite a story, wouldn't it? Here we go for the AFC Championship game at the Big Ketchup Bottle. Santonio Holmes, Hines Ward, ex-teammates now across the field. Rex Ryan, Jets. And the Steelers and Jets get set. And early it was all Steelers. Here's the pitch to Rashard Mendenhall. And very early on, Mendenhall with space, Roethlisberger buying time even on the run play.
The decision by Ben Roethlisberger, carried the ball as long as he could, and you see he got up limping a little bit.
And now, Roethlisberger, look at this. This is Mendenhall. Looks like he's going to be stopped. It keeps going for 9 yards. Now on 3rd and 12. If there was vintage Ben, he didn't have to take long in this game on this first drive, Tom, to watch him. Fake, pump, draw, and then, he dives. He knows where the first down marker is.
A big man moving his feet like this, we seldom see it in any league.
And then Mendenhall is in there for the touchdown, so a 9-minute drive to open the game, 7-0 Pittsburgh. Now the Steelers with the ball again. Mendenhall running right. There's plenty of room. 11 yards on the play. 2nd and 8. Big Ben. Little screen to Mendenhall. Evades one tackle. Speed down the sidelines, and Bull Smith, a big play, 18 yards. And now watch Mendenhall outside second quarter, but same drive, Tommy. And he runs hard like a big man, but he's got some wheels. This is a 35-yard pick.
Yeah, and credit this offensive line for doing a great job of getting a push. You see the double teams. You see them come off, see them create the seam that Haji always talks about, and there it is, a seal and a great lane to run in.
Yeah, the Jets holding the field goal 10-0, but now here is Big Ben scrambling, and Heath Miller did not play in the game 5 weeks ago, the regular season that the Jets won, and it's a 24-yard pickup later in the drive. Ben looking for one of those youngsters, those rookies. Emmanuel Sanders picks up 20. All Steelers. You see, it's about 4 minutes to go in the half. Now just over 2 minutes in the half. 1st and goal. Ben cuts inside and in the end zone. 17-0 route on. And for the Jets, it would get worse, because with 1:23 to go, Ike Taylor, corner blitz, fumble! Mark Sanchez fumbles. William Gay in the end zone. 19-yard touchdown. Defense scoring. Sanchez hurt. 24-0. It looked like all was lost.
Yeah, hit coming from the backside. You see right there, the arm actually got knocked forward on the hit by Ike Taylor. And Sanchez would eventually shake that off, though.
Now the Jets get a field goal at the end of the half. Would that mean anything? Mark Sanchez rolling. Santonio Holmes, the one-time MVP Super Bowl Steelers. 45 yards in his old house. A touchdown from Sanchez, 24-10.
Yeah, Ike Taylor going to fall down right there. Holmes knows it, puts the arm up, lets Sanchez see it. Good job of eyeing the ball in for a touchdown.
Now 2nd 11, Jets defense trying to make a stand. Big Ben under pressure, buying more time. But this time, Rodney Poole does the crawl and makes the interception. And Jets defense saying enough is enough. Now watch Trevor Price. This time they get their mitts on Big Ben and pull him down. So the Steelers don't get any more points 3rd quarter, but they still have a 2-touchdown lead. Jets ran for 1 yard. 1 in the first half. Sean Green finding a hole. 16 yards here. Now we're in 4th quarter. Obviously Green stopped after the 1-yard run. 2nd and goal. Sanchez, Dustin Keller. Oh, he couldn't come up with it. 3rd and goal. Jets need to get in. Sanchez, Holmes, no, nearly intercepted Lamar Woodley. LaDainian Tomlinson, no! The Steelers hold on the 1. So the Jets try to shake it off, and Ben Roethlisberger never quite gets the exchange, falls on the ball, but it's a safety. So it's 24-12, and the Jets are going to get the ball on the free kick, of course. Suing Jets, but here it is again, Tom.
Well, fortunate it wasn't a touchdown. I thought that Ben did a great job of getting back on that football. Could have changed the course of this game.
Everything.
Touchdown.
So the Jets on 4th and 1, and Sanchez hits Braylon Edwards for a first down. Now just over 4 minutes to go. The Jets still need the 2 touchdowns. Safety got him the ball, but it didn't leave him any option but to get 2 TDs. Sanchez, Keller catches it, first down. Almost 3 to go, 3:11 to go. The Jets, a little deliberate, but they had to make sure they got in. Sanchez, Jericho Cotchery hurt earlier in the game. He came back. Touchdown, 24-19.
Yeah, showing a lot of character here for the Jets, but also running out of time.
And they had to get a stop. 2nd and 8, under 3 to go, Steelers. Big Ben to Heath Miller. That's a first down into Jets territory. One more first down will do it. And on 3rd and 6, Ben buying, throwing. Rookie Antonio Brown catching, running to the chagrin of Rex Ryan. The terrible towels had to be thermal on this day. They were being waved, and the Steelers ran out the clock. A game Jets comeback falls short. A 16-point second half, not enough to overcome a 24-point first half and dominating performance by the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, for the 3rd time in 6 years, are trying to win a Super Bowl. Sal Paolatonio with James Harrison afterwards.
So much adversity for this football team all year long, and now you're going to the Super Bowl. Tell me how that feels to get through all that.
You know, it's real big. You know, we just stuck together as a team. You know, everybody played for one another. You know, when we say we're a family, we really believe in that. You know, each player out here, you know, that's my brother, and I'm going to treat him like my brother, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to play for him.
And that T-shirt looks good.
Don't it? All right, there we go.
The performance by your defense in the first half was truly remarkable. Just shut them down and took them out of the game. What was the key?
You know, we wanted to stop the run. We did a good job stopping the run, and then we wanted to try and get pressure on him whenever he passed. They came out the second half, and they made some adjustments. They did a good job. You know, they get paid like we do. But when it was all said and done, our offense came through for us at the end.
See you in Dallas.
Definitely. See you.
Running the football. The Steelers, among the best ever to stop it. And running the ball would be in their DNA as their honorary captains, Franco Harris and Rocky Blyer, on the field before the game. So you had to know. Richard Mendenhall had to take a look and go, okay, we can do that. Mendenhall went with a $120, $121, and the Steelers had 166. The Jets had 1 in the first half. 69 yards rushing in the second half, but they were in the comeback mode at that time. And so, look, the Pittsburgh Steelers, as we said, they average, are allowing 63 yards a game at rush defense, and that's the 3rd best total since the merger in 40 years. And running the football, a 9-yard drive. It never broke the Jets' spirit, as it turned out, but it often just makes the other teams. It had them scratching their heads for a half, Tom, and it cost them.
Yeah, I think that the Jets came into the football game knowing that they were going to have to be able to run some. Now, to run for over 100 yards, and we said it this morning on Countdown, you kind of have to prorate those numbers when it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Pittsburgh's ability to run and stop the Jets from running the ball is really what set the tone on both sides of the ball. And that means you look at the offensive lines and the defensive lines. Now, things flipped at halftime, but in the first half of this football game, the offensive line of the Pittsburgh Steelers was dominant. I thought that Mendenhall did a great job of pressing the hole and then running off tackle and getting outside, running in between the tackles, and they couldn't get the Jets anything going offensively, couldn't get any push from their offensive line, and we said ferocity. The ferocity of the Pittsburgh Steelers defensively when this game started, I think, put the Jets in such a hole that they could never really dig out of it. They got within 5, but they couldn't dig out of that hole.
Look, and we talked about it in the open, you beat Peyton Manning and the Colts in Indianapolis, which is quite a feat. You go to Foxborough, where you lost by 42 points, and you beat Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the Patriots. But now in Ben Roethlisberger, that's a different sort of defensive task. Not only a great postseason record, but the way that he plays football, unique, Tom, right? You didn't play against, you played against big, strong guys, but they didn't move like this, right, Tom?
Not like this. He has the feet of a dancer. And he's a really big guy, so he's strong and he can throw people off and he can run through an arm tackle. But even though the numbers look pretty pedestrian, when he needs to make a play, it's classic Ben Roethlisberger. The eyes are always up, looking for Mendenhall there on the pitch. Watch here. He'll step up in the pocket. He's got that ability to go get the first down. He's not afraid to go head first, not afraid to take a lick again. And it's by plan. You know, I think that he is the great improviser at quarterback of this generation. He's been doing it from high school to college at Miami of Ohio, into the pros. His coach at Ohio, Miami of Ohio, told me you will not have seen a big guy move his feet the way Ben Roethlisberger does. Now he's won 2 Super Bowls doing it, and he's got a chance to win a 3rd.
And then, you know, if you just pick up the paper and you didn't see the game and you're trying to figure out, okay, right, Steelers ran for, let's see, Ben, 10 of 19, 133, ran 11 for 21. Well, that's not a very good. But he is not the scrambler of the improviser of the Michael Vick, of the Aaron Rodgers, or back in the day, Fran Tarkenton. I mean, I'm dating myself a little bit. He's a different sort. The numbers don't show that what the time is that he buys.
Yeah, it's extending plays. It's really kind of a playground game. Ben goes back. He's going to extend plays. He's going to buy time. You see him run very few checkdowns, and he's going to look for his guys down the field. So we talk about hidden yardage. Plays that should be losses for the Pittsburgh Steelers end up becoming pluses and first downs and 30-yard gains, like the 24-yarder to Heath Miller that actually should have been a loss of yardage, but Ben buys some extra time, extends the play, and he's gotten so used to making that throw on the move that, you know, his receivers expect it, so they know to keep working for him. If you get open, he'll find you.
And he doesn't, well, sometimes he throws tacklers off his back. It's almost like the proverbial water off the proverbial back of a duck. It's amazing what he can do. Ben Roethlisberger, ho-hum, another playoff win. He's now 10-2, speaking after the Steelers clinch another trip to the Super Bowl.
No questions?
At the end, after the game ended, saw on TV, I guess you took a knee and you're holding the towel. I mean, what was going through your head there? What were you thinking about?
Just thanking the Lord. I mean, been through a lot as a team, personally, and it just feels good. You know, it's a good feeling.
It's your 3rd time around. How much does this one mean personally to you for everything that you've been through this year?
Shoot, anytime you can get to the Super Bowl feels good. I don't care what you're going through, what's going on, but we as a team put a lot of stuff behind us early and found a way to get it done. We weren't always the prettiest team, but we had guys step up and fill in for guys in critical times of games in the season. Some young guys step up and make some plays that you don't normally see. And so I'm just really proud of that group of guys over there.
And how about the way you guys played in the first half and just jumped on?
Yeah, I mean, that was the key. We wanted to get off to a fast start. Give the Jets a lot of credit and Coach Ryan, because the second half on them on defense, they came out and threw a lot of different things at us and kind of put a damper on the way we were kind of moving it on offense. So give them credit for slowing us down in the second half.
And one of those young guys that came through for you was Antonio Brown. Can you talk on how that play developed there on your last pass?
Yeah, it was the last play kind of intended for Hines. We kind of expected them to bring the house. They dropped everybody. So as soon as I saw him leave, it was a really, really tight window. It would have been real hard to get to Hines. And my thought was, you know what, let's try and run it. Kind of been the scramble and the run had been open a lot of the day. Let's just take off. And worst case scenario, you get tackled and, you know, let time tick down. And started running to the sideline. Next thing you know, AB just comes flying across the field, beat him with speed, and just threw it, and he made a heck of a catch.
Okay, can you talk about, for the second consecutive game in crunch time, Antonio Brown comes up huge, and you seem to have trust in these guys.
I have the same amount of confidence, and it may sound crazy, in 88 and 84 and 17 and 83 and 89 and 86. 82, go all the way down the line. Same amount of confidence in all of them, and you know, I think it speaks volumes for the way that they work.
Ben, you had a towel over your head. You took a knee. It was a pretty emotional scene. What's going through your head after the game in that situation?
Just how awesome this is.
Ben, how much did it mean to you that Coach Tomlin and the staff allowed you to throw the ball late in the game on those 2 throws, or let's say in Ben, win the game for us?
I expect them and hope for them to do that. I want the ball in my hands to try and make a play late, and really my job is only a small part of what we have to do. The line's got to block. I just got to throw the ball. Those guys catch it. Heath made a great catch to play before, or on the third down before, and you know what? AB did a great job the last time.
What sort of statement or tone do you think you set on that opening drive? 15 plays, 9 minutes.
The whole first quarter seemed like that's huge. Anytime you can come out and set the tone and the tempo, running the ball, throwing the ball, move it down the field and put points on the board. You know, as an offense, it feels good, and I assume for our defense, that feels good to help them, you know, rest and get a big boost come on the field.
Rex said that was a gutsy call, the big third down, that even as you spread the field, they expected you to run the quarterback draw.
Well, I expected them to bring the house. So that's Coach Ryan. He's a mastermind, and he, you know, it's a game of chess with him, and you know, got to give them a lot of credit.
I mean, of all the, we're just talking about watching Ben Roethlisberger. Look, you can, whatever happened, didn't happen. I mean, everybody knows the story of why he did not play the first 4 weeks this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which, to their credit, by the way, we're 3-1 and we're ready when he got back, to their credit. To Ben's credit, you can see in his face, and you hear by all his teammates, and our Merrill Hodge, who is right there on the scene with him, and we feel, and he's talked about it on TV, a different, a better, I'm not talking about a quarterback, a better person. He thought about how great this was. That comment right there, I think, spoke volumes, Tom.
I think it's been a great story, Boom, of redemption. As Boom said, we all know what happened during the offseason. We know he was suspended the first 4 games. He took that medicine from the commissioner's office. He came back, by all accounts, became a great teammate to be around. He has done things the right way, and now he has his team going back to another trip to the Super Bowl. And I think that maybe when you hear him say that this is awesome, and that's what I was thinking when I, you know, had that towel over my head in the middle of the field, I think a great many thoughts may have been going through Ben Roethlisberger's mind about the journey that he has made from the beginning of the year, sitting at home watching the Steelers play football, to taking them to Dallas to play for the Lombardi Trophy.
And the team, Tommy, that was stopped just short of it after quite a run and kind of a microcosm, their second half with a big comeback, albeit in the face of, it would have been one of the biggest comebacks in the history of the postseason, this side of Frank Reich, the New York Jets. The Jets kind of went into the locker room at halftime, and rarely have I seen a field goal make it from 24-0 or 24-3. Not saying that it was the field goal that did it, was the proverbial let's get something on the board and have something to keep our chin up for. You've been in locker rooms like that.
Absolutely.
They took it. They took the ball the second they were a different team. It's as if that proud, especially offensive line, say, look, we're all better than this. And we may have dug too big a hole, but we're going to go out with guns blaring. And that's what I saw from the Jets.
I think that what Coach Ryan has instilled in this team is great character. I think they benefit from that every time that they go out on the field. I think that you hear the Steelers talk about family. I think that the Jets have great family as well. And I think that, yes, they dug a hole that was too big, but makes you proud to have played in this league and watch these players play in this league now when they show that kind of character after being down by 24. And we're going to fight our butts off and try to win a football game. And I believe that when they come back next year, and this will sound a little bit crazy because they just lost the AFC Championship game, I think they will have the exact same confidence that they're going to go to the Super Bowl again, and they're going to attack next season the exact way that they attacked this one.
And you do think of some of the proud guys, and we don't know if they'll be back. Jason Taylor, LaDainian Tomlinson, 2 gentlemen who may one day both be in Canton. I mean, that's the moot point at this moment. But them in particular, so close, you feel for them who had a chance finally to get to that first Super Bowl and only to get so close and to be denied. But it's why they keep doing it after all. They were close.
Absolutely.
And our hats off to them, albeit in a losing effort, as it turned out, in the blast furnace that truly was,
the Pittsburgh,
or I should say, Ice. Sal said this morning, Ice Station Pittsburgh, and they were a blast furnace. When we return, there was a renewal of kind of an old rivalry in football, the Packers and the Bears for the NFC Championship.
A missing army.
5,000 men.
How do I find them?
No Roman can survive north of the wall alone.
An unlikely alliance.
Now take Eska. He's a slave. He will slit your throat the minute you're alone.
A dangerous journey.
What's happening? Get on your knees!
They're my slaves. Do as I did for you, and you'll survive.
The Eagle, rated PG-13, starts February 11th.
DirecTV now gives you instant access to 6,000 shows and movies at no extra charge. You're gonna be busy. Super busy. Don't just watch TV. DirecTV.
Inception is the best film of the year. Nominated for 9 BAFTA awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. Winner of 6 Critics' Choice Awards on over 100 critics' top 10 lists. The American Film Institute declares it the most rare of movie miracles. A century from now, movie lovers will be debating this great, great movie. Now available on DVD and Blu-ray. Inception.
If you're looking for the right time to get the perfect vehicle, this could be it. It's the right size from the right company. It's the 2011 Ford Escape XLT. And now you can lease one for just $239 a month. You get 28 mpg highway and seating for 5 with room for all your outdoor gear. And the versatile Escape is great in the city as well. Just $239 a month for 24 months. This is your chance to trade up to Ford, and this is the lease you've been waiting for.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by E-Trade.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime. The Pittsburgh Steelers moving on to the Super Bowl for the 3rd time in 6 years. The New York Jets trying to get to their first Super Bowl since 1968, and I remember because I was there. But albeit a great effort, a great comeback, not quite great enough for Rex Ryan and company.
Don't put that big, don't put the big one up there. Just put it right there. All right, Coach.
All right. First off, I'm proud of our football team. We had a heck of a season. Obviously, we came up short tonight, just like we did last year. One game away from the big game. And that's why we play to advance and win a Super Bowl. But, I'm proud of our guys. We played a good half. We just never played a good game. And, you got to give Pittsburgh credit. That's a heck of a football team there. And if you plan on beating them, you better put 4 quarters together. And we didn't do that today. Thought we were going to win the game. That's the first time in that situation that our defense hasn't responded and gotten the big stuff to give our offense a chance to win the game. Obviously, there's a huge amount of disappointment for us, but like I say, I'm proud of our team. I don't think there's many teams that could have gone through what we did and got here and almost pulled out another one. But again, our goal for next year, I got news for you. It won't change, and it'll never change. We're going to chase that Super Bowl. We're going to chase it until we get it, and then we'll chase it after that again. But that's it. If people want to criticize us, then you go ahead, but you really got no right. But I'll open it up.
Rex, what happened in the first half when you gave up 24 unanswered points?
Oh, everything. They did a great job running the football on us. We just did a poor job of tackling. for whatever reason, our technique wasn't as good. We made some adjustments at halftime. But that was, really disappointing. The tackling that's not up to our standards by any stretch of the imagination. You got to give them credit. We knew they were going to come out and run the football. That's a good football team. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a real football team, and they deserve to be going to the Super Bowl.
What was supposed to happen on the last play, the last first down, Pittsburgh? What happened there?
Well, I was actually shocked that they didn't run the football. Even though they spread us out and went 5 wides, I actually expected them to run quarterback draw there. But they didn't. We're supposed to have pressure off both edges, and I think we're a little late on our pressure.
Rex, you looked very emotional. What was the scene like with you and your players after the game in the locker room together?
Well, no, of course it's emotional. I mean, we came up short. One game again, and, it cuts your heart out. But, like I say, there's only one way to respond, and we're going to roll our sleeves up and go at it again next year. But, of course, you get this close. You go through the battles we've had to go through. You go through Indy to play Peyton Manning. You go through New England and face Tom Brady, and now you got Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. It's probably no harder 3 games than any team in the league has to face than that. But we were there. We thought we'd still win. Even though we played a poor half, I still thought we'd win. But no, of course, and it's supposed to hurt. This is only 3 years in a row for me to be knocked off in this game. And again, I'm going to keep swinging. We're going to get through this thing eventually. We have one of the youngest players in the league at quarterback, and eventually this guy's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I think it's going to be sooner than later. But I think we're going to have a shot. We just got to, this football team's going to be good for a number of years. And, we're looking at next year. Again, our resolve is going to be that, hey, we're going to be right back here. I'd like to play in our stadium, but if we don't, we'll travel on the road, and we're going to find a way to win it. And I believe it.
Do you think that
Rex Ryan, confidence, and that's what the Jets have needed all along. But congrats to Pittsburgh. Now, the NFC game coming up.
There are so many ways to find hotel deals. Ben spends ages searching dozens of travel sites. He just won't let other people help. Jake prefers to have others do the work. He just goes to kayak.com. In one search, the job is done for him. Is it better to do the work on your own? Ask yourself. Compare hundreds of travel sites at once. Kayak. Search one and done.
Oh my God! What's this?
A circle? I wear a wedding ring to pick up chicks.
Have you completely lost your mind? I never pegged you as a kids guy.
I'm a huge kids guy. How would you like to be my pretend children?
Can I do an accent?
Let me hear some.
Hello.
No.
I love you guys. Good night. Losing it.
Just go with it. Rated PG-13.
Yes! I got the boss's tickets on Saturday. Football! Football! We're saying snow on Saturday, too. Record lows. Old school, the frozen tundra. Winter warriors on a merciless field. Hands frozen numb.
I'd sell those tickets if I were you.
What?
Oh, yeah. You can get good money for those.
Who says the best seat at the game has to be at the game? If it's Lane, it's right in your living room.
Yeah, we see you.
Get the best seat at the game at lanegame.com.
If I was the New Orleans Saints, I would not blitz him. I would put the extra guys in coverage. Picked off. Look out. Gets past Murray, and it's Tracy Porter taking it all the way. Touchdown, New Orleans.
You are watching NFL Primetime, presented by E-Trade.
The Packers and the Bears. I mean, it just gives you chills when you think about it because they played more than anybody else, 181 times, but never had there been higher stakes than this matchup at Soldier Field. I mean, history of football. See, the Packers have 12 championships, the Bears 9. That's the most, 2. The Bears have 26 Hall of Famers, the Packers 21. That's the most, 2. We could go on and on and on. But there was only one berth available from the NFC for the Super Bowl available here in 2010, and that would be to the victor here in the Windy City. So here we go. 182nd time with feeling. Aaron Rodgers, Packers. Jay Cutler, Brian Urlacher, Bears. Split regular season results. Aaron Rodgers, Packers look strong coming out of the gates. Big hit Chris Harris, but Greg Jennings holds on, and then Rodgers likes that. Zing to Jennings, and boy, he looks like he did in Atlanta, Tom. 22 yards that first play, 26 yards this play. Then Packers using 4 wide. Zing! Jordy Nelson, 22 yards, first and goal. And then outside of the pocket, he can do this. The naked boot, get it over the pylon. Just as Pittsburgh did. Packers opening drive, touchdown, 7-0. Later on, here come the Bears. Cutler to Devin Hester, but overthrown. Cutler upset. Bears punt. Now the Packers 2nd and 13. Rodgers, this is a good-looking play to whoop. Brandon Jackson, your cousin, makes Brian Urlacher miss it, Tom.
Yeah, I talked to you about the great depth that the backers for the Bears get. Urlacher right there coming a long way. You got to make that tackle. Good quick move by Brandon Jackson.
Then James Starks out of nowhere 2 weeks ago against Philly into the end zone here in Chicago. 5-play, 44-yard drive, 14-0. It's going to be over, right? Well, Jay Cutler, second quarter, back. And gets nailed and incomplete to Greg Olsen. He's slow to get up, looking at the knee. Later in the drive, he's hit by Sam Shields, the youngster, undrafted youngster. Had a big game. It's a fumble. The Bears do recover it, but Cutler twisted down, loses the ball.
Yeah, as he's twisted down and doesn't secure the football, fumbled by the Bears.
Dom Capers, the outstanding defensive coordinator of the Packers, looking on. But Lance Briggs has a strange interception, hits the foot of Donald Duke and the driver into Briggs' hands. So maybe here come the Bears, but there's Shields making a leaping pick in front of Johnny Knox.
Yeah, this is a great job of laying out for the football. You could see it was going to be right on target. Lays out, great job of catching the ball at its highest point.
14-0 at the half, and Jay Cutler left at about 10-20 seconds early before the end of the half after a 6 of 13, 80-yard and a pick in the first half. Third quarter, Cutler played the first series, low to Hester, walking off the field, knee bothering him big time, and then on the bench, he wasn't going to go back. Meanwhile, the Packers have a chance to get rid of the game. But Brian Urlacher picks Aaron Rodgers, and Rodgers saves the day with a shoestring tackle of Urlacher, shades of Bettis at Indianapolis against Ray Roethlisberger after a Bettis fumble in Indy is what I'm trying to say.
This may be the best play that Aaron Rodgers made for the Green Bay Packers on the entire day. Yes, he threw a pick, but then he was able to bring Urlacher down, because I think if he misses that tackle, that's probably a touchdown for the Bears.
It could be. Now the veteran, Todd Collins comes in, and this is how he looked. Forget it. 2nd and 15, incomplete. 3rd and long. Collins. He initially ruled a pick by Nick Collins. Lovie Smith challenge, rules an incompletion, but the Bears force the punt, and he puts in the third quarterback Caleb Haney, and because he came in the third quarter, nobody else could play in the quarterback. No Cutler, even if he was ready to go, had to swing to Forte complete, and Caleb Haney, undrafted quarterback, Colorado State, came a Bear in 08. He looked good. First to Forte, then to Knox. Can it be? Well, wait a minute now. Chester Taylor in the end zone. Haney, the ultimate X factor. How come we not talk about him this morning? And then the ensuing possession. Rodgers drilled by Julius Peppers. Incomplete deep pass. Aaron shaken up now.
Yeah, and as you look at this, Pepper's going to come around. He makes a nice hit. They call that one on the helmet, and you saw Briggs' arm come down on Rodgers' head as he extended his hand.
Well, certainly a penalty called there. Jay Cutler has Haney looking to try to, we wasn't expecting to play at all. And, B.J. Raji, 337-pound, the freezer, goes into the end zone and does the shake. Defense has put the Pack up 21-7.
Raji not only did a great job of his zone drop, but he started to work himself to the outside, following the quarterback's eyes. Great zone drop scheme.
But the Bears under Caleb Haney say we're still in this. This is the Bears and the Packers. Haney to Earl Bennett, and he gone. Collins and Woodson. Kind of crazy back here, Tom.
Yeah, Woodson is going to have the coverage, but certainly he's expecting help from Collins.
So now the 4-play drive for a touchdown makes it 21-14. Knocked out of bounds as James Starks, not what the Packers wanted to, trying to kill the clock. 3rd and 12. Rodgers scrambling, stopped short of a first down. Chicago will get a chance. Lance Briggs and company force a punt. 2:44 to go. Caleb Haney. That's right, Caleb Haney. On 3rd and 9 to Olsen. That looked great.
It was.
First down, Haney. Matt Forte with a big game running and catching. Forte just short of a first. 4th and 1. Chester Taylor went the touchdown. First down. Bears alive. $1:30 to go. The screen to Forte. He gets out of bounds. The Bears moving $1:15 to go. 3rd and 3. Let's talk it over now. Earl Bennett, no, this is not going to work. Smothered on the end around.
Unusual call on the end around. Just an unusual call in that situation.
And now Haney on 4th and 4. Trying to make something happen, but Sam Shields, Shammer, makes the play. Shields eventually falls on it. 2 picks, forced fumble. Packers have big names, but they get contributions from unknown names as well. Caleb Haney, he had to try it.
Well, difficult for Haney to anticipate the throw. He knew that he had to get the ball out of his hands. Shields makes a great break on the ball, and the Packers are headed to the Super Bowl.
So Aaron Rodgers, Clay Matthews and company going to the Super Bowl. The Packers, who've won more championships than anyone else, they'll be headed to the Super Bowl to try to tack one on as they beat the Chicago Bears in the oldest, the most storied rivalry in the National Football League. 21-14, Pack happy, but they knew this wouldn't be easy.
I'm numb. It's a great feeling. Just so proud of our football team.
It's been a tough road, but we, just persevered through a lot to get to this point, and that part about it feels real good.
We've had to win 5 really elimination games, and I think that's what just makes it that much sweeter is having to win those 5, but also doing it with guys, a lot of guys we didn't really count on at the beginning of the season.
We just always believed in ourselves that if we had the opportunity to get into the playoffs, that it didn't matter what road, which way we had to go, we felt confident that we could get it done.
We'd like to, put more than 14 points on the board, obviously, but we're going to Super Bowl, and we got a week to relax and get our bodies back and go enjoy Dallas and hopefully get a win down there.
Well, good point by Aaron Rodgers, and let's look at the ground game in the regular season against the Bears. Chicago's defense has done a good job all 3 games. Let's not overlook that. But the Packers ran for $120, and that's twice of what they averaged in the 2 regular season games. A split with the Bears, as we said. Rushes for over 10 yards. They had 6 as opposed to 3 in the first 2 games. You can see the numbers. Obviously, running the football, and Rodgers has something to do with it. But this was a day in which Aaron Rodgers came in with 114 points in his 3 playoff games, 2 this year, and, of course, the 1 last year. How would they stop Rodgers? How would they stop? Well, the Packers been looking all year for a running game, and they seem to have found it just at the right time, as they did in the first playoff game against Philadelphia, Tom.
Yeah, I think when you think about James Forte and Brandon Jackson, they've given some balance to this offense. Now, they set a lot of it up with Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball early, but the offensive line did a great job of getting a push, moving people to the second level. I thought that the running backs did a great job of getting north-south. Now, that we've seen James Starks for 3 games. 2 of those games he's done this. One game he was a little bit hesitant. This is the guy that they hope they see when they get to Dallas in the Super Bowl. He's very shifty in the hips for a guy his size, powerful, and these runs of 10 yards, 9 yards, 8 yards, if you put that together with the quarterback that you get from Aaron Rodgers, this is going to be hard to stop. I always say dome field, not home field now for the Green Bay Packers. They're going to a dome.
You know, linemen like to block for the run every now and then.
Yes, go forward.
Brought a smile to Clifton and all those guys' face. And how about the big guy? And Dom Capers, by the way, is outstanding a tactician defensively. He is going to his first Super Bowl. So they did Coach Mike McCarthy, defensive coordinator Dom Capers. But defensively, Tommy, what's a 337-pound guy doing back in coverage? It was brilliant.
Well, when you see B.J. Raji, and it's classic zone blitz where guys don't know offensively who's going to be coming, and you take a guy like Raji, and again, I thought the great part of that was he not only dropped into a zone. It's easy to tell a guy, you're going to drop 8, 9 yards, you're going to be right there on the numbers. He dropped back, and he started to work his way to the outside, showed pretty good hands for a big 300-pound guy, and then got himself to the end zone. The only thing I would tell B.J. is make sure you secure the football. You don't want to let it go before you get to the end zone. That you talk about wanting to be not wanting to be in a headline. You don't want to be in that headline.
Well, there are some headlines in Chicago, and look, the Packers came in as the favorite, even though the game was in Chicago. So the fact that Green Bay won is not a shock, but the way that it developed with Jay Cutler not playing the second half, at any rate, disappointed Bears, disappointed a lot of folks in the Windy City.
We gave it a go there that first series, but couldn't really plant and throw, so they kind of pulled me. I was going to keep playing. They made the decision that giving Todd a shot would better suit the team. It's a lonely feeling to fight and go through training camp and everything else, and get to this point and have an opportunity to get in the Super Bowl. It's hard.
Folks who are questioning toughness, that sort of thing, what's your message to them?
No comment on that.
He was hurt and he couldn't go. Trainers, doctors, and all, they're the ones that really made that decision. As far as Jay, he's like everybody else. Disappointment that he couldn't go out and play to help his team win.
I don't question his toughness. He's one of the toughest guys on. He's tough as hell. He's one of the toughest guys on our football team. He doesn't complain when he gets hit. He goes out there and plays up every Sunday. He practices every single day. So no, it doesn't. We don't question his toughness.
Well, certainly no question in there. And look, far be it for us to know, because we'll MRI on Monday, and we might find lots of stuff.
Yes.
It just is. It was a head. It didn't look right, but then again, we're not down there, and his teammates and coach all have his back, as they should.
Well, yes, and I'm not surprised at all to hear that from the captain of the football team, and I think the best player that they have in Brian Urlacher, nor Coach Smith. I think what Jay Cutler needs to understand is that there is a perception, and that's the negative part of this right now. When folks see him standing on the sideline, when you see him riding the stationary bike, every quarterback can, look, I won't even say disinterested, but every quarterback is different. Just like Coach tells us, every coach is different. So I think that those things, and we hear now that people are burning, Cutler's jersey in Chicago. None of us know what the injury is. None of us know the extent of the injury. None of us know what's wrong. But in this league, if you can play, there is just this perception that you have to get out there, risk everything, and try to get it done. And I think there is a perception right now that that's not what happened. And quite frankly, we don't know. No one knows.
And the veteran on the line, the center, Olin Kreutz, was very adamant. He said his knee was wobbling. I'm surprised he even tried in the third quarter. So it may be much ado about nothing, but we'll see. But in the end, as Coach Ditka, and it was great to have him here with us all day on a Bears-Packer day, reminded us. So now the Hallis Trophy goes to the Packers, who now have a chance to win the Lombardi Trophy. When we return, there's a Super Bowl between two teams you might have heard of. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Green Bay Packers. How's that sound for 2 weeks going to Dallas?
At E-Trade, low-cost investing doesn't just mean a low price. It means getting everything you need to invest for yourself, not by yourself. It means choosing from stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and every ETF sold. Plus 5-star service and research designed to increase your intelligence, not insult it. So you can wave good riddance to some high-priced joker churning out cookie-cutter portfolios. Price is one thing, value is another. Don't confuse the two. E-Trade. Investing unleashed.
Snatching stuff, Oh, what is going on in here?
It's okay, relax. Watch this. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, Dave.
Wow. Is that your agent?
It's the jingle. Try it.
No.
Like a good neighbor.
Just say it.
State Farm is there.
With a sandwich.
Oh, yeah. And the girl from 4E? And can I get a hot tub?
Nice.
State Farm agents are there when you need them.
Introducing the ESPN Pack from Sprint ID. One-click access to scores, fantasy, apps, ESPN mobile TV, and more. Visit sprint.com/ESPN.
Diane was already the chief operating officer at a national tissue bank when she decided to get her master's in healthcare administration. By choosing a university that connects working students to faculty who are also leaders in their fields, she was able to apply her studies to the real world and help more people much quicker.
My name is Diane Wilson. I deliver the best gifts on earth, and I am a Phoenix.
Learn more about the College of Nursing at phoenix.edu.
Thanks for taking over. I'm really beat.
No problem, man.
ESPN, your NBA destination for games Wednesdays and Fridays.
Big Monday, college hoops on ESPN. Notre Dame at Pitt, 7 Eastern time. So that ought to be a happy crowd. And Baylor and Kansas State in the Big 12 at 9. Back in a moment. When we return, looking ahead to Super Bowl 45, the Steelers and the Packers.
No one looks at trucks the way GMC engineers do. That's why this year is engineered with variable valve timing, active fuel management, and a 6-speed Hydromatic transmission. It's the only truck that delivers over 300 horsepower and best-in-class V8 fuel economy. When you never compromise, you have nothing to hide. Get 0% financing for 60 months when you purchase a 2011 Sierra.
I can't decide. Guac or salsa?
Salsa is a distillation of many Latin and Afro-Caribbean dances, including the mambo.
What?
Mambo number 5. A little bit of Monica in my life.
You gonna be okay for the party?
Parliamentary parties compete for seats in the House of Commons.
College farm animals. Pick. Animal House.
Food fight!
Please don't. Decisions shouldn't be that hard. Find the cure at Bing.com, the decision engine from Microsoft.
Hundreds of prizes are out there looking for a loving home. Can't you make room for a flat-screen HD TV? Find the time to take an unforgettable vacation? If you're a Charter customer, it doesn't take much. For no money at all, you can sign up for the Live It with Charter Rewards program And do your part to start earning points towards amazing stuff. Because if you don't get exclusive access to celebrity events, who will? Visit liveitwithcharter.com today.
The Mercedes-Benz Winter Event is going on now at Mercedes-Benz of Calabasas. Get the Mercedes-Benz you've always dreamed of for a price you never dreamed possible. Like the powerful, fuel-efficient 2011 C300 Sports Sedan. Now lease one for just $339 a month for 27 months and experience the difference at Mercedes-Benz of Calabasas, including complimentary car wash, shoe shine, manicure, or massage on select days. Hurry in to Mercedes-Benz of Calabasas.
So the AFC Championship game to the Pittsburgh Steelers, 24-19 over the New York Jets, who tried to climb a mountain, down 24-0 behind young Mark Sanchez, but fell short after a valiant try in the second half.
You know, they jumped out early. They had the momentum, there's no doubt. You know, the thing I kept telling myself was just hang in. You know, it's a long game, hang in there. We're going to be fine, we're going to make plays, things will settle down. And they did. You know, Rex promised us at halftime things will settle down. We just got to go fight for it and try and take it. We definitely gave the right kind of effort in the second half. It just wasn't there in the first half. And, you know, you can't play 30 minutes in a game like this, of this magnitude. So I don't know how to explain it. I didn't play well enough. I didn't get completions when I needed to. And, you know, it just wasn't my best. So it hurts. You know, it just hurts. But I don't know why we came out flat, but I got to get better.
Stand up after a loss. A lot of respect that way, Tom. Well, talk about respect. The Super Bowl will have plenty of that. We'll talk about it when we return.
Investing for yourself isn't some optional pursuit, a privilege for the ultra-wealthy. It's a necessity. Find investments with E-Trade's top 5 lists. Quickly, easily. Use predefined screeners and insightful trading ideas to dig deeper. Work smarter, not harder. Depend on yourself, the one person you should trust to take charge of your financial future. E-Trade. Investing unleashed.
You coming at me with the job?
25 mil. Now on Blu-ray.
Bet big, win big.
He wants more than the money. Taking who? I put 3 holes in your head like a bowling ball.
Hey!
Takers. Get it now on Blu-ray and DVD.
Go bold instead of the same old with Chili's new $6 lunch break. Choose a salad or tasty soup. Pair it with a Texas Toast half sandwich like our Southwestern BLT with Applewood smoked bacon. Served with fries, it's big flavor for just $6. Weekdays at Chili's.
Your lives depend on these defenses.
Did you hear that? What happened to my men? The SEAL people. I'm not leaving them to die.
Open the gate!
The Eagle.
They'll never catch us on foot.
Have you seen them run?
Rated PG-13.
Big Ten heavyweights step into the ring, and 2 SEC foes rumble on Super Tuesday. First at 7, the Gators muscle into Athens for a battle with Georgia. Then at 9, 2 of the country's most talented big men duke it out.
Sullinger.
Johnson throws it down with 2 hands. When top-ranked Ohio State meets number 13 Purdue.
Pulls the trigger and nails it.
Super Tuesday, presented by KFC. Doubleheader action begins at 7 on ESPN.
NFL Primetime is presented by E-Trade. Investing unleashed. And in part by GMC. Enter the Never Say Never sweepstakes for a chance to win a GMC Sierra Denali at gmc.com/NFL.
So here it is. We have it. The Super Bowl ball getting set to roll out. Kickoff in Dallas. Green Bay Packers, Pittsburgh Steelers. And maybe it's fitting that those old-time teams, the Packers have won 12 titles, the Steelers have won 6 Super Bowls. That's the most in both. First time since Super Bowl 17, a long time, that the top scoring defenses, 1-2, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, have met. 2 old-time teams, old-time football.
Yeah, quick thoughts. Defense on both sides of the ball. I think that it's interesting Ben Roethlisberger could etch his name as one of the great quarterbacks in the history of this league by winning his third. And I think Aaron Rodgers is really going to be the story in Dallas, you know, following Brett Favre, and winning that Super Bowl would make them even with Super Bowls.
And I think the fan bases that travel the best, the Steelers and the Packers, they'll be there, and so will we. Thanks for watching Primetime.